today we're back with some more Theme Park Tycoon 2, a game where you could create your own theme park and go crazy with it. We're going to be expanding a little bit more by adding some new rides, new stalls, and even a new coaster. But this isn't quite the vision I had in mind, but we'll be using this period to grow our vision even more and build some things that we thought was otherwise not possible in this game. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us, and let's see how far we can get at this point. And we're back with our fancy facade and a bunch of guests. Well, it's a bit dark at the moment, so maybe we should wait until it's daytime. I don't think there's a setting for it, but I guess we just wait it out. Now that it's bright out, I think it's time to get some upgrades started, I guess. Maybe some new rides would be really good. And I think this one's gonna be a decent ride for our park at the moment. And I think it's gonna be one of our more expensive ones. Not counting the roller coaster, of course. With the new ride setup, we are of course gonna have to recolor it so that it matches our boring theme. And to help out our current situation a bit, we're also gonna add some new stalls to spice things up around the park. I did notice though that these lights are a little too small and dim for our park, so we're gonna be adding some lanterns here and there, and maybe later we're gonna be replacing most of these lights with these lanterns because well, they're not that bright, literally. With the park getting a little bigger, I think a lot of our guests actually want to rest at certain places, and I don't think we have a lot of benches in some places, so we added those real quick, and hopefully this meets the demands of most of our guests and possibly get our ratings up. Alright, and there we go. I think that's all benches colored. With the rest of the park all set up, I have a few concerns with some of our rides, specifically this maple coaster. There's not a lot of traffic going into it, and I'm pretty concerned about my ROIs on this one. So I think lowering the price might help the situation out a little bit, but that's only because I'm really hoping for the best for this one. You don't really know which ones bring in the most money. But I guess we should just keep going, and maybe some new stalls might help us out. We could do with some of these souvenir stalls, I guess I should call them, and change things up a bit since we only have a food stall and a drink stall around the park at the moment. I believe having one of each stall would actually help with your ratings, so we're going to be doing that right over here, although it did cost us quite a bit of money, especially these balloon stalls. Despite all the changes that we added, I don't think we're getting any more guests. We're still at 2.5 stars, and I'm starting to wonder what happened. Well, hey, the park sucks, but somebody liked it. And I really appreciate it. It's not every day you see someone leaving a like, so please leave a like on this video. Well, only if you like the video, of course. Just let some random dude on the internet know that he's actually doing something nice. In any case, it still hurts to see these queue lines empty, so I'm gonna try to cope and shorten them a little bit just to make me feel a little better. To also make me feel a little better, we're gonna be adding another ride to the park, and it's this drop tower. But we're gonna be rearranging a few things, and I did notice that it was pretty dark at night, so we're gonna be adding lanterns. And I'm likely gonna replace all of the lights with this one because the lanterns just give off a lot more light compared to the smaller ones that I used earlier. It's also a lot easier to see how much area is being covered by the lantern because, well, it's a lot brighter and a lot more efficient compared to the budget lanterns we used starting out the park. Wow, that actually took all night in-game, but I'm pretty curious about this roller coaster in particular because I've never actually been on it. It's our first coaster, so let's manage our expectations a little bit. Well, it's a nothing burger basically. I know I lowered my expectations, but maybe I should have lowered it a little more. Well, with that out of the way, we can finally put down our new ride. The setup is pretty simple, it's just the entrance and the exit. No need for some additional paths, well, because it doesn't really fit. But let's just color it up and match it with everything else, and it should be good to go. The game really gets you with the amount of options it offers you. And you know what's gonna be exciting? A total revamp. And now that I think I could have the money for it, I think we should go for it. Well, we've checked out the really boring coaster last time, so let's see what this one's all about. And I don't think I put a lot of thought into it, but It should be pretty intense. Jesus, you're upside down for so long. Now I'm pretty worried about the rest of the ride because I don't think this thing is slowing down anytime soon. Alright, I think you could seriously get injured in this ride. Yeah, maybe we should get these people to sign a waiver before they actually ride it. Whiplash is certainly a possibility. We still have a bunch of things lined up, and we have to decorate our place a little bit more because it feels a little too bland or lacking some depth. So we're going to be adding some decorations pretty soon, especially towards the roller coaster area. So I worked on it a little bit, just a little thing I made, a small pond and a water tower, but I want to build around this theme. So yeah, we already have something going on, so maybe we could do something wood themed again. And we're gonna be placing down some of these fences and coloring it so that it matches, well, the color of our roller coaster and everything else in the park. So yeah, after those fences, I was thinking about bringing some life into this area, and what better to use than a tree. Actually, we do have a duck in the middle, but it still felt a little lifeless at the moment and pretty empty, and the tree just does the job really well, especially bringing some texture to the area. The area looks a little too flat, so maybe a few rocks wouldn't hurt. I don't think I have to be too particular where to place these. So let's just go ahead and place these randomly, since I guess in nature it's also random, so I guess this works. A little bit of a change in color should turn this into something that fits in my theme park, haha. But yeah, I guess that works. And maybe a few more fences to finish the job. And I think that should be most of it, but I'm not quite satisfied just yet. So let's put this down real quick and see what else we can do. This place needs more signs of life. And the barrel, well, it's a sign that someone's been here. Maybe these hay bales, but I'm not really sure. But we can do with some more browsing. Maybe a water bucket is a pretty good sign of life. Let's put that down. And I'm not really sure what I'm gonna put next. Let's see what we have in our list. Yeah, it doesn't work. I think these are pretty good signs of life. And they fit pretty well with the aesthetic. We should definitely put one of these down. A pretty significant sign of life. And it just wraps things up pretty well. Well, now the place doesn't look so deserted. And I'm pretty satisfied with this, even though it's just a bunch of random things I put down. Well, I think that's scenic enough, so let's proceed to our next task. I'm thinking of adding some more stalls, but I don't just want to do any random stalls that the game provides you. I want something a little more sheltered and something in theme with our theme park. So we might go ahead and do some custom houses or huts or whatever you call it for our new stalls. Alright, let's put down our stalls. I'm not really sure what we used. I think it was the slushy stall. So let's put those down and start working on our new covers. Let's just call them covers for our stalls. Let's get started with a few walls. I'm not really sure where to begin, but these are a good start. Well, in my opinion. And let's try not to cover the front area because people still have to access a stall for it to work, I guess. I'm not really sure about that mechanic in the game, but we're gonna do as much of the building around the stall but not in front of it. These frames, I guess, work. It's open but not too open, still sheltered, and I think that does it for the body. Let's do something about our roof. I'm not gonna lie, I think the roof is gonna be tedious work, especially with all these parts and the corners. So I'm gonna have to explore a little bit and see what this is all about. But right now I think I've got something going on. We've got a triangle roof going on over here, but we still need to add a bit more to the roof so it doesn't look a little awkward. So it gets a little difficult at this part of the roof making because the corners aren't exactly compliant. You see, each corner uses a different part, and at this point, I already got to a point where I understand which parts I need to use for these. So yeah, I removed the parts where I had to learn how to do the roof, but you get the point, and I'm not gonna show you the whole back and forth process of me trying to figure out which piece goes where. Now that we've got a pretty decent cover going on, we're gonna have to use these for everything else. So it's gonna get a little tricky trying to copy this, but there is this thing where we could select multiple parts and copy it. And it's pretty convenient, especially for this type of situation where we have to use, well, the exact same cover to make sure that everything looks the same for our stalls. Just gonna put down a copy of it over here on the side so that's easier to select compared to where everything is actually happening. And yeah, I think that's pretty good for our first stall cover. I might actually change this up a little bit in the future, but right now this is pretty fantastic and it looks great already. Who knows how much I'm gonna add to it, but I think it's pretty decent already. Anyway, let's keep up the pace and keep on moving forward. This theme park needs a new ride, and it's been due for quite a while now, especially with all the aesthetic changes I've been putting down lately. So we're probably gonna go for some sort of extension to our park, so we're gonna be preemptively putting our entrance over there to the far right. And I think I put the exit a little too far to the right of the ride and it kind of clashes with the teacups, so we're gonna do that real quick and add our extension. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it got a little tricky with the Q paths, so we're just gonna do a sort of S pattern to accommodate the extension that we made, and I think this is gonna work. Alright, and let's not forget to put down some trash cans because people litter if you don't put down enough trash cans in like, well, a certain area. So this is pretty essential to the gameplay. Of course, we don't want this thing to sit ugly. We're gonna change the color of the vehicles first and then the ride itself so that it fits our theme park. And now it looks pretty good. They actually look like golden planes. And now that we've learned a new trick, I think we could do with some custom stalls in this area since it's a brand new extension. So let's add some more food and drink stalls over here and maybe it'll generate us more money as well. But I just want to try out the new template that we have for the stall covers. Now I'm not sure if there's an easier way to do this, but I'll be doing it this way for now because it works and I don't really feel like exploring all of my other options because, well, I don't really know where to look first. Anyway, I think that does it. Let's just check if we got everything. Okay, missed one there. And let's copy this and actually apply it to our new stalls. It always hurts to remember that we're gonna be going for some sort of revamp in the future. And what? I can't. Ah, okay. I see. It seems like I can't use this on every single one of these stalls, and now I feel better about making a revamp because custom stalls might be the way to go. I don't feel like using these other stalls because well, they don't quite fit the overall theme I'm going for. Okay. Let's see if this actually works. And people can walk right through it. I remember saying something about not putting anything in front a while ago, but I think I changed my mind. If this actually works and people can buy things, then I probably don't mind putting this right in front of the stall. But let's wait for some confirmation that people could actually buy something on the stall before putting these down. Well, there you have it. I don't have to put these signs down. Let's just wrap this up real quick. And I think it fits the overall aesthetic. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too happy with this. I think we could do with a better sort of placement for these labels. But I think for now this should do. But anyway, I think it should work for our purpose at this point in the game. But let's not forget we're gonna be doing some sort of revamp later on, so this isn't what I want my park to look like. We're gonna be working on something more grand, like a bigger facade, if that's what you call it. Right now we have a pretty small park with a carousel right up front. But I don't want that carousel to be right up front. And I don't want this tiny little sign that we have right here that says autumn leaves to be our frontage, our display that people see. So we're gonna be working on something big next time.